Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome everybody that is here or that will come here in due time. For those that don't know, welcome to When Persona Speaks episode. What are we on? 15, episode 15. This is definitely going to be a really good episode, especially for me, because it's definitely something that I'm definitely very something that I care about. I think we all care about what we about to talk about right now. Yo, Vanny Pan, what's good, man? Appreciate you coming through. I think we all care about what we about to talk about right now. But for those that don't know, When Persona Speaks, it's a weekly series that I do on the channel dedicated to speaking more in depth about all things gaming and the community that comes with it. And it's meant to be like a conversation. You know, if you guys want to chime in, if you guys want to, say your piece on whatever whatever I'm talking about, you're definitely free to do that. But this is definitely a series that outside of Mind of a Gamer podcast, which is more gamer focused and more it's more, about the news and things like that comes out throughout the week. This series is more dedicated towards, talking more in depth about the community and things like that, and the things that we see. They still out here saying exclusives don't matter. Yo, Vanny, man, listen, bro. It's deeper than that now, bro. It's we crossing into like some seriously crazy territories, man, that seriously need to be spoken about, because it's a problem. You feel me? And to a lot of people, a lot of people will look at, a lot of things that are said on Twitter, or a lot of things that are said on YouTube, a lot of things that are said on Facebook, wherever. A lot of the times people will look at these types of statements that people tend to make, and they'll write them off, right? That's what people tend to do. Who cares? A lot of times somebody's like, oh, who cares about what this person is saying? He doesn't matter, right? But in the grand scheme of things, on the other side, people will also, make YouTube videos talking about how, the community needs to demand better. One of the things that a lot of people tend to say a lot, including myself, especially when it comes to Xbox, oftentimes people tend to say, as a community, we need to demand better of Xbox, right? Which I agree with 100%. And not just with Xbox, but I feel as a whole, I think, with all the companies, Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, these development companies, I feel as a community, we definitely do need to demand better when it comes to the things that we want. Because if we don't, that's when you're going to keep getting shoveled bullshit, right? So, I am a firm believer that as a community, we all should demand better from these companies when it comes to games. That's perfectly fine. But I'm also a firm believer of also calling out the bullshit, the fuckery, the crazy things that people say within the community that can be damaging, right? And people may think, oh, well, it's just one person thinking like this or one person saying this, so it doesn't matter. But in the grand scheme of things, it's much larger than what people may think, just off the simple fact, if one person is thinking like this, chances are there are a multitude of people that think like this. And it's evident within social media, within the community, that there are people that believe what I'm about to show you and what we're about to talk about. But within the community, as a gaming community, and this isn't no, I'm better than you, you're better than me type thing. This is not what this is about. This is about bringing attention to a problem that is really starting to get more and more blown out of proportion. Like it's starting to become more now. Because this is not the first time that I've seen something like this. And me, when it comes to debating, and I've said this before on When Persona Speaks and on podcasts or whatever, when it comes to debating, this was like 2-3 years ago. I mean, I used to debate like crazy, especially when it came to like the quote unquote console war. Debating. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still up for like a good debate, like a really good debate. But I feel like in this life, in this part of the console race, or the life cycle of the consoles that we're in, and seeing what we're seeing, debating it's minuscule. It's not really something that needs to happen because it's quite obvious and evident who the winner of this console generation is. So there really is no need to debate in terms of like PlayStation versus Xbox, but you can still debate, point of views, or debate, statements, or debate what people may think in terms of a specific console or something like that. In that regard, yeah. So yo, Demi, what's good, man? Appreciate you coming through. Take my occasional 5-minute break from God of War to pull up. Respect. We got less than a month out here for Vampire. You know what, man? Vampire looks decent. But so let's get into it. And it wouldn't be Scottish Savage. What's good, man? Thanks for coming through. It would not be When Persona Speak episode if I did not share my screen, because I like to give you guys visuals when I speak about what we about to speak about. Let me find. Oh, this is it right. Oh, so this is the video. Okay, that's the video. Okay, I remember that now. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Jay Barry. Shout out to Jay Barry. Big shout out to my boy, to the bro Jay Barry, man. Barry, he definitely be out here in these streets. And when I seen this, I I couldn't believe it. You feel me? Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, I can't believe people think like this. It's almost mind-boggling to think that gamers, quote unquote gamers think like this. Even if you started, on 360, I still can't believe that people think like this. You feel me? So let me share my screen because I want you guys to see what I'm talking about. As soon as I can share the screen out, present to everybody. Application window. There we go. All right, cool. Again, big shout out to my boy Jay Barry, man. Make sure you follow him on Twitter and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link in the description. But so yesterday, surfing through Twitter like I always do, chilling. And I seen Barry. I originally seen this from what's the dude name? Luca something. I forgot his name on Twitter. Shout out to him though. He brought this because this happened on Dealer Gamers podcast or whatever. But Barry, shared this out, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. Because in my mind, I'm thinking this is a troll, but there are people that think like this. So let's read what this person says. So obviously, he donated to the super chat in I think Dealer Gamers podcast, whatever. Cool, supporting who you support, that's fine. But what he said is what like really, got me like crazy. Like what? So games should not define the console you have. UI, power, online security, unique qualities, etc. to the console themselves should. Let me read that again because I need you guys to understand this. Games should not define the console you have. What? Games should not define the console you have. UI, power, online security, unique qualities, etc. to the consoles themselves should. Now, before I dissect this, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You feel me? It's a free country. We all could think, speak, feel how we feel about whatever. But just like you're entitled to your opinion, I'm entitled to criticize that opinion. And that's what's about to happen here, because this type of quotation, this type of statement that he's saying is not the first time that someone has brought up features being the deciding or the selling factor of a console. This has come up multiple times from different people. And a lot of these people that say this happen to be predominantly on the Xbox side that's saying these types of things. And the Other Gamers podcast just so happens to be a pro Xbox podcast. So, but games should not define the console you have. Now, the problem with that there is we as gamers, and I'll use myself, me as a gamer, right? I've been gaming since I've been gaming since I was like 3-4 years old. No bullshit. Started out on the Super Nintendo onward. You feel me? Actually, I started out on Game Boy. No, I started on Super Nintendo. Then I got the game. Yeah. Then I got the Game Boy. Then I got the Sega and all that. Yeah, I remember. But me as a gamer, right? Growing up, one of the most vivid and precious memories I have as a gamer, someone that's played a multitude of consoles, one of the most precious memories I have is the memories that a lot of games have given me. Donkey Kong, Lion King. I remember Lion King, man. What pissed me off about that game was the fact that I couldn't beat it. But I enjoyed it a lot. I still need to beat that game, and I'm 26. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Just, those are just field trips in themselves. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 10, 10, 2, 12, 14, 15, all these amazing games that I've played growing up. Fatal Frame. I remember when I first started playing Fatal Frame, it scared the shit out of me. And I played it at night in the dark. It scared the shit out of me. I can go on about memories that I've had from a multitude of different games, right? The point that I'm trying to make is when I think back to a specific console, what I'm thinking back on is the games that I played on the console, because the games is what made the console so great. What makes Nintendo so great to this day? What makes Nintendo the powerhouse that they are? It's not features, because the Switch don't got shit for features. What makes Nintendo so great? It's not features. On the Wii U, it wasn't features. On the Switch, it's not features. On the GameCube, it wasn't features. 64, Super Nintendo, NES, Game Boy, all these consoles that Nintendo has dropped since the beginning of its life. What has made Nintendo such a special brand in all of our hearts? Even me, as much as I make fun of Nintendo, it still has that special place in my heart, because it's what thrusted me into the gaming lifestyle that I have now, right? So when you think about Nintendo, what do you think about? You think about the games: Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda, Kid Icarus, Ice Climbers, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, all these amazing games, Super Smash Bros, Melee, which is obviously the best one. All these amazing games that have released throughout the years that a lot of people have grown up on. That's what people remember Nintendo for. It's not for features. It's not features because nobody gives a shit about that. Look at PlayStation. From the beginning of PlayStation's life to now, what is most memorable about PlayStation? And you know what's funny? And when PlayStation 2 first came out, they actually were PlayStation 2 was the console where you could play DVDs, right? How many of you, and be honest, how many of you as a gamer will sit here and think back and say, damn, I really loved PlayStation 2 because I could watch DVDs on the damn thing. And I remember, I think you could plug your guitar up or some shit like that. I remember seeing it I remember when they did like a news special on the PlayStation 2 when it was first coming out. They did a news special, like showing off like the different things you could do outside of gaming. I know one of them was, I think you could plug your guitar, some crazy shit you could do, right? But how many people, and remember, PlayStation 2 is the highest selling console ever to this day. The highest selling console ever. Why did people go out and buy a PS2? I bought a PS2 for games. I bought a PS2 to play games, and PS2 has some of the most memorable titles ever. The Warriors, GTA 5, Chaos Legion, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Final Fantasy 12, Dark Cloud 1 and 2, Parappa the Rapper. Is that PS1 or PS2? I think that's PS1 actually. I can't think. I think that's PS1. Or yeah, no, it's PS2. But all these amazing games that were on PS1, PS2, even PS3, where PS3, what made PS3 so great? A lot of people love PS3 because it was backwards compatible. The first couple of PlayStations that dropped, they were backwards compatible. So a lot of people loved that. And I had one of those big ass fucking PS3s that was backwards compatible. And you could play your games on them. All the games that came out, Last of Us, Uncharted, Killzone, Resistance, Fall of Man. One of my favorite, still to this day, one of my favorite shooters. SOCOM, Confrontation. I'm trying to think what else. Final Fantasy 13. Call of Duties. I can name games. What made Xbox so great? Why did people love OG Xbox so much? When people talk about OG Xbox, what do they talk about? They're not talking about features. They're talking about Fable. They're talking about Gears. They're talking about Halo. When people think back to OG Xbox and how great OG Xbox was, what are they talking about? They're talking about the gameplay, the games. When they think about Xbox 360, what are they thinking about? Halo, how it still was revolutionizing multiplayer. It was still one of the best multiplayers. Gears. Shit, man. I'm not even trying to be funny. I can't even Forza. I can't even think it not working. I'm sorry. I'm not even trying to be funny. For OG Xbox, it was Lost Odyssey. Was Lost Odyssey OG Xbox or 360? It was I think that was Xbox 360. Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon. I remember Brute Force on OG Xbox. Me and my friends used to play that a lot. That was probably, it's funny because Brute Force and Gears were like two of my favorite games on Xbox, especially Brute Force. I love the shit out of Brute Force. That was my shit. But when you think back to all these amazing consoles to this day, what are you hyped for? What are you excited for? What do you can't wait to play? Why are we watching E3s every year? It's not for features. People aren't tuning into E3 for Xbox, for PlayStation, for Nintendo, and for all these, trying to see what all these development companies are doing. They're not tuning in for features. They're not tuning in for that shit. I'm not. Are you? I don't know anybody in my circle of friends that are tuning in to E3 to see what features is coming out. Everybody is predicting. When you watch people do E3 predictions, what are they predicting? They predicting games that are going to be coming out because that's what's most important. Games is what sells consoles. People go out and buy consoles to play games. That's always going to be the black and white of this whole situation. No matter how far we go into the future, right? Regardless, it doesn't matter how far we go, right? The most important thing is always going to be the games. Fatal Frame and Amazing doesn't belong in the same sentence. Revoke your horror card. Yo, man, I love Fatal Frame, man. I loved it. It was my shit, man. Jade Empire was 360. Tokyo Extreme Racing. Oh, yo, Tokyo Extreme Racing. Ah, man, I remember that one. I remember that. Tokyo Extreme Racing was the shit. Perfect Dark. 007, one of the most beloved multiplayer style games. 007, right? Who's that for? Who's playing that, right? If people don't care about games, why are these games so coveted and so beloved? It doesn't make sense, right? If features is what matters most, features are not what matters when it comes to a console. It doesn't matter what console it is. It doesn't matter what console is talking about what, whatever future proof, whatever blah 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 that people are talking about. Listen, the most important thing to any console is always going to be the games. Why is PlayStation so successful right now? PlayStation is so successful right now because they are doing three things right. They're putting out exclusives. They're creating new exclusives, next gen exclusives, and they're putting the gamer first. They're putting the games first. The head of Sony came out with a press release. When was it? I think it was like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, talking about the restructuring of the organization, and he reassured gamers that we are going to put first party titles first. We're going to put the games first, not features. Not talking about, hey, look, so hey guys, we're going to put this new TV app on there for you guys. We got PlayStation View, and we're going to add these new channels for you guys. You guys like that? You want that? Is that what you guys are looking for? No, they're not saying that. And again, not saying that they're not doing that. I'm not saying and doing the two different things. And I know someone's going to misconstrue that. Oh, well, Personas, who says that they're not also focused on features? Features is also for everybody's. To nip that in the bud before somebody even brings it up. I know that all these consoles are working on putting features on consoles. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. Features on because these consoles do more than just play games. True. We surf the web now. We do. We stream from the damn thing. Oh, we record video, take pictures. We do all these crazy things, right? Fair enough, we do. But at the end of the day, what are you turning on your console to do? I'm not turning on my console to take pictures. I'm not turning on my console to watch to surf the web. You feel me? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing none of that. I'm turning on my console to play games. And I'm pretty sure everyone, or I would hope everyone within the community would think the same way, right? I would hope. But clearly, evidently, from Ryu, no, it's not. And he's not the only person that thinks like this, man. And this is a problem. This is the problem. And I know there's going to be people, oh, well, who cares? He's a nobody. Oh, who cares, Persona? You wasted time on someone that's talking their own opinion, though. Yo, listen, man. Again, yes, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I'm also entitled to criticize your opinion. Not only that, but when you have people in the community that say that we as a community need to speak up and let these companies know what we want from them, especially when it comes, again, to Xbox. And, what do people say all the time? Oh, well, the Xbox community needs to speak up, and we need to, let these companies know that we want exclusives. We want new games. We want games like God of War, blah, 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 blah. People say that all the time in their fucking videos and podcasts and stuff, right? The same logic applies when you have people spreading this type of rhetoric within the community, because as much as you may dismiss it, there's someone else that will jump on it and be like, yeah, man, this is what we want. At Phil Spencer, give me more TV options. At Phil Spencer, give me like, bruh. Oh, at Phil Spencer, you don't got to worry about bringing out new games. Just give me more TV apps, I want to be able to watch HBO on my Xbox. Give me that, that shit. That's what that turns into. So you have to bring awareness to shit like this, because as a community, and I'm speaking as all of us as a community, these types of things need to be brought to people's attention so that there is an understanding of what's important. Because again, I feel like people forget what is important when it comes to these consoles. a lot of people forget what's important, even down to like the console war. You feel me? It's fun, and don't get it twisted, man. Yo, the console war is fun to a degree. You know, it's fun. It's fun. It's funny. You know, because a lot of people, you know, they say funny shit. It's funny jokes, whatever. You know, it's harmless fun, right? But oftentimes, a lot of people also tend to take things to the next level, and the console war or the debates turns into, you know, people, you know, wanting to fight. You feel me? Or people wanting to meme your pictures and do all types of weird things outside of gaming, but all for the sake of a difference of opinion. That's where the line needs to get crossed, and that's where it's like, okay, this isn't what I'm here for. What do, as gamers, all of us as gamers, what are we here for? Why do we keep going out and buying these consoles every generation? Why do we go out and keep buying these games? Why do we constantly hit up devs, asking them questions about different games? Why do we watch the trailers? Why do we do gaming podcasts? Why do we do gaming videos? Why do we have YouTube channels? Why do we have Twitters? Why are you putting all this time, effort, and energy into a console, into a hobby that you're not meant to play, that you're not focused on playing games on? Why put this much energy into something where the games don't matter? That logic doesn't make sense. That logic doesn't make sense. I'm not doing a podcast at 11 a.m. every Saturday for features. I'm not doing When Persona Speaks for features. I'm not speaking to people that love features. I'm not someone that is speaking about features. I'm not putting features first in anything that I do that pertains to gaming. Nothing I do has features first. I say this all the time. I'm a gamer first, then I'm a PS4 lover. You know, I rep my PS4, and then everything else comes after. You feel me? The gaming comes first because the gaming is what's most important. And I feel a lot of people are forgetting that. A lot of people are forgetting, you know, just like the whole exclusives thing, you know, with Microsoft. You know, we all know Microsoft is doing bad right now when it comes to providing quality exclusives. We know that they're trying to push this Game Pass narrative. We know that they're putting all of their first party titles on Game Pass, which, you know, personally, I feel that you know, and again, shout out to Bari, because I was watching a couple of his live streams this week, and he made a lot of great points that I agree with, and I've said before that it depreciates the value of the game. It you know, when you have games going to a service that's $10 a month, you begin to accept mediocrity. You feel me? You know, you're supposed to demand better, right? So with Xbox, we know that they're not doing so hot when it comes to the exclusives. What are people making videos talking about? They're not talking about, hey, Phil Spencer, you're doing a great job with those features, man. Keep them coming. No, you got people wanting exclusives, wanting quality exclusives, wanting quality experiences, wanting good exclusive games. Because the games is what comes first. Yo, Titanfall, what's up, man? Thank you so much for coming through. Garuda in the building. What's good, Garuda? But yo, that's just, yo, man. Like when I seen this, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it, because again, we as gamers, and again, a lot of us, you know, some of us don't know each other. You know, we probably will never see each other in life. We probably will, things like that. And so again, it's easy to write off these types of things like, oh, who cares? You know, it's easy because one, is the internet, two, it's someone's opinion, so who gives a fuck? And three, is just, you know, you got better shit to do in your life. True, we all got better shit to do in our lives, right? But one of those things that we do in our day-to-day life, and one of the things that we do that we share with, you know, one another, is our gaming experiences, right? I share my game experiences all the time on Twitter. I share my game experiences all the time on YouTube. I share my game experiences all the time on Facebook. I'm sharing my experiences. I know plenty of people that are here right now that also share their experiences. Talk about games. Talk about what they like about games. Talk about what they don't like about games. There's plenty of people that does that. So we all have a mutual interest here. The mutual interest is games. So when something may threaten that, you have to speak on it. You feel me? You have to speak on it. But that's my that's my rant on this guy, man. I'm sorry to Ryu, bro. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. First off, shout out to Bari for tweeting this and bringing it to my attention. Because you know, when I seen this, I was like, Bari, I gotta talk about this on When Persona Speaks. And Bari, he was like, as you should. Shout out to Bari, man. But yeah, man, remember, guys, remember, please. Gaming is what we all here for. Gaming is what we love. Gaming is what we're gonna do. Like, some of us are fucking in our 30s, 40s, late 20s, still playing games. Again, I've been playing games since I was 3-4 years old. I'm 26 now. I've been playing the games for over 20 years. You feel me? My catalog is very vast. My knowledge is very vast. You feel me? Gaming is a part of my life. You feel me? It's something that I do on a regular. I de-stress to play. I play games to de-stress. I play games for enjoyment. I play games to share experiences. All that stuff. And it's funny because me and my best friend, we was actually having a conversation yesterday. We were talking about like different games and stuff like that. Games that we're going to be picking up or whatever. And he's older than me. He's a lot older than me. He's like an OG. And I asked him, I was like, yo, man, how long do you think you'll play games? And he was like, I'm probably going to play games until I die. And I'm like, seriously? Sounds like you see yourself being like 80, 90 years old playing games. Yo, Goku, what's good, bro? Appreciate you coming through, man. So I was like, yo, man, I see you see yourself like 80, 90 years old still playing games? He's like, hell yeah, bro. I'm be playing. Yo, man, I'm playing my games until my fingers fall off. And he was like, what about you? I said, listen, man, I'm going to be playing games for the rest of my life, man. Like, gaming is pretty much in my life until, the good Lord is like, hey, bro, it's time to dip. You feel me? Until then, gaming is, it's a part of me. You feel me? But yeah, gamers, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that's my little rant about that's my rant about this whole situation. But the second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is God of War sold 3.1 million in 3 days, right? Now, one thing I love about fanboys, and I love this, man, because it really does keeps the console war entertaining. Because the one thing about Xbox fanboys, it don't matter if they wrong or right. Yo, these dudes are gonna rebuttal whatever you say, bro. Whatever, they don't care. They gonna rebuttal. So, God of War came out on April 20th, about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. And it sold 3.1 million in three days, ladies and gentlemen. 3 days, right? So it got me thinking, right? It really got me thinking because I'm 32 and I'll never stop gaming. I'm 28 and I'll never stop gaming. It relaxes me. Exactly, yo. Gaming is like, as much as people don't want to admit, gaming is a part of y'all lives, and that's okay. You feel me? Like, I think one of the misconceptions when it comes to gaming, a lot of people like to associate gaming with people not having a life, I guess, or whatever, which doesn't make sense. I remember when I was young, and I was probably like 16, right? And I used to play Call of Duty a lot. Like when I was like 16, 17, I used to play Call of Duty a lot. And I remember when I used to get on a game, a lot of times, like whenever I used to win, because me and my crew, we used to like crush people. A lot of people used to say, "Oh, well, you don't have a life. You don't have a life. Da, da, da. You don't have a life. You're such a loser. You stay in your mom's basement," which is not true. I live on my own. I have my own money. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But that's what people used to say, and I used to always ask, "What in your eyes? What does having a life mean?" Right? Because I never understood that. Like, oh, you have no life, and I'm like, but I'm alive. Like my heart's beating. So what are you talking about? Like, oh, you just sit on the game, play games all day, which is not true. But like, I think a lot the misconception when it comes to a lot of gamers is that you can't have a family and also be a gamer. I know a lot of people in my life that have wives and kids and play games hardcore. I know tons of people, even myself. I play a lot of games, but I also enjoy a lot of things. I travel. I do all different things. I'm educated. I'm smart. Whatever. Gaming is a big part of my life, but it's also not my life. You feel me? But whenever I used to ask people like, "What does having a life mean?" Oftentimes they'll say, "Oh, having sex with girls and going out to clubs and all this other weird stuff." And I'm like, I've been to enough parties and to enough strip clubs to know what that's like and is. But uh, I used to say, "Is that what having a life is? Like, is that what's fun to you?" Like, yeah, that's what's fun to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. What's fun to me is playing a game. So I never understood that. You feel me? Like, what does that mean? You don't have no life because you playing games. I never got that, man. Again, I know a lot of people that have boyfriends and girlfriends and are married and have children and work full-time jobs, and these people live very fulfilling, successful lives. You feel me? But that was just a quick story for you. But yo, back to this God of War. So 0.1 million in 3 days, right? So it got me thinking, and I asked Barry too. I talked to Barry about this and the Mog Boys, and I'm like, yo, single player games, and hear me out, guys. Single player games, in my opinion, hold more value than multiplayer games. And this is what I mean. When I say value, well, no, not value. I'm using the wrong word. Let me rephrase. Single player games are worth more than multiplayer games. Now, hear me out. When it comes to God of War, right? We know God of War is danger. No. The cliche stuff. What I'm saying is, I do that. I've done that. Like going to clubs and stuff like that. I've done that. I've done that. Going to parties, strip clubs, all that stuff, drinking and getting drunk and all that. Like I've done that. You feel me? So that part of my life is over. In terms of going to clubs and shit like that. I don't care about going to a club. I'll go out to like a museum or go out to the movies or go out to dinner with friends or with a significant other. So I'm like, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll go out and see the world, travel, go to different states and stuff like that, and go to, out the country and shit like that. I do and I'll do. But going to, when people say, oh, you don't have a life because you're not going to the club or you're not, you're not you're not fucking a different girl every night. Whatever people say weird things to make themselves feel better about who they are to you. I don't care about that. I don't care about going to a club because I don't care about that. That's not something I care about. You feel me? Now if you're like, yo, let's go out to a movie or let's go out to this concert, this concert or something like that. Or let's go do something like that. Yo, I'm down for that. But we're going to the club, chilling in the club, going to a strip club, whatever. I don't care. You feel me? That I don't. I've done that enough to know that what it's like. And I don't need to do that. You don't need to do that every day or every other day or get drunk every day to have a good life or have a fun life. That, when it comes to life, right? To everybody's life is different. First off, second of all, what you do in your life is different from everybody else. You feel me? So whatever I enjoy in my life might not be what the next person enjoys in their life, and that's fine. Everybody's different. If there's people out there that like going to clubs every day, getting drunk, smoking weed, whatever you do, if that's what you enjoy, who am I to take away from that? I'm not. You feel me? But I'm gonna do what I do. You feel me? But I already blew out my liver and lungs partying. I slowed down and just want a peaceful life. Hey man, listen, Garuda. I could have been in that situation, man, had I stayed on the path I was on when I was a kid. I definitely would have been there, believe me. But yo, so when it comes to the worth of games, right? God of War, and I'm gonna use God of War. God of War is a single player game with RPG elements, roughly, 30 to 40 hours of gameplay out of it, right? For $60, right? No one has a problem spending 60 on a game like that. No one has a problem shelling out 60, right? Now, think of a game like Call of Duty and the rumors about Call of Duty not having a single player campaign, right? You have a lot of people that are ready to ditch COD and not touch COD and not play COD anymore. And all this crazy stuff. Like, there's a lot of people saying, if COD doesn't have a single player, I'm not buying the game. I'm not playing the game. I only buy COD for the single player. I only buy COD for the single player. Single player. I was seeing this a lot whenever the rumors came out that Call of Duty wasn't going to have a single player, right? And it got me thinking, how much value do we really have in multiplayer games? Because a lot of people like to say that single player games are one and done, but realistically, I want to say multiplayer games are one and done. And I love multiplayer games. Let's not get it twisted. I love my CODs. I love my Uncharted. I love fighting games, blah, 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 whatever. But realistically, multiplayer games are, in my opinion, the more so one and done games, because when a new COD comes out, everybody ditches the old COD and goes to the new COD. And they don't look back. A lot of people do that. They don't look back at the old COD. So essentially, that old COD is useless, right? When it comes to single player games come out, you beat it, you have memories of it, you put it down, and then one day you're looking at it and you're like, damn, I want to play this again. Let me play this. A lot of people are hyping, backwards compatibility for the single player games. They're not, I'm not hype, as far as backwards compatibility or new games or old games being remastered or whatever, for multiplayer. Right? How much value is in multiplayer then? How much worth do you put above multiplayer when it comes to games? Because look at Fortnite. Fortnite is free. And people are having a blast on that. So spending $60 on a multiplayer game isn't feasible, clearly, to a lot of people. To a multiplayer style game, spending $60 is not feasible. What was one of the biggest downfalls of Destiny 1? The fact that it had a shitty story. A lot of people put Destiny down because it had a shitty story, but the story was not what made the game the game. It was the crucible, it was the raids, it was the grinding for the gear, it was all these other different things that came with the story. But people played the game, they played the story, they said the story was shitty, they thought the game was shitty, and never touched it again. how much worth is really how much worth do we really put in multiplayer games? Because I don't see people complaining about spending $60 on single player games, unless you're an Xbox fanboy. But that's besides the point. Uh, I don't see people complaining about spending $60 on quote unquote one and done single player games. Who complained about spending $60 on God of War? I didn't. I didn't have a problem spending 60. Who complained about spending $60 on Bloodborne, on Assassin's Creed Origins, on South Park's Fractured Butthole? All these different single player games. Who complained about that? I don't see anybody complaining about spending 60 on single player games. Now, we fast. If Fortnite was $60, right? Do you think it would be as popular as it is now? One of the reasons why Fortnite is blowing PUBG out of the water, you know, outside of the fact that it's an overall better game, better looking game, and you know, it does everything just better, is the fact that it's free. No one's spending $60 on multiplayer games. Not in this day and age. No, not when you got Fortnite. That's free. Warframe, that's free. All these multiplayer based games that are free. Why am I spending 60? So people are looking at COD and like are looking at multiplayer game. I really do feel like people are looking at multiplayer games through fresh eyes, like this isn't worth $60 to me. And essentially, you get more replay value out of the multiplayer game, but people still are not willing to spend $60. What was the problem with Battlefront 1? It had no story. All multiplayer. The multiplayer was crappy. Nobody liked the game. It was Star Wars. People was happy with it being Star Wars, but once they got over the fact that it was Star Wars, that game died quickly. Nobody's trying to spend $60 on a multiplayer game. And that's what has me thinking like single player games will always be king within the realm of gaming. When it comes to games, it goes single player, then multiplayer. Always. Because folks are going to spend that $60 on the single player game. People go out and spend $60. Yo, you can go to a store right now, right? And buy Zelda Breath of the Wild's been out for over a year now, right? I guarantee you the game is probably still $60. Matter of fact, let's look on Amazon. I'm guessing. No. Let's look on Amazon. Hold up. Amazon.com. All right. Amazon.com. Zelda the Wild. Oh, my fault. Hold up. My fault. Okay. My fault. I should have acted up. So let's do Zelda. Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yo, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yo, this shit is out of stock too. What the hell? Hold on, let me share my screen so y'all can see. Hold on, let me share. Here we go. Zelda Breath of the Wild, $55. Or buy digital for 60. Buy new for 54. So 55. Buy it used for $45. This game's been out for over a year. Over a year. Let's do Call of Duty. Call of Duty. Let's do World War II. World War II is still pretty fresh. Look at that. Brand new. $46. Mind you, Zelda's been out longer. Let's do. I think PUBG for Xbox. I think you got to pay for that. I think you still got to pay for that, right? PUBG for Xbox. $29. Let's do Call of Duty. Let's do Battlefield. Battlefield. Battlefield 2. No, Battlefield 1. That's the one, right? Battlefield 1. $19. $19. Multiplayer game are so great within the community, right? And don't get me wrong, they are. Multiplayer games are awesome. But single player games are still king. $19. Would you spend $60 in this day and age right now for Battlefield 1? I wouldn't. And if you wouldn't spend the $60 on Battlefield 1, why not? It's multiplayer game. It's got replay value. It's got tons of replay value. You're getting your money's worth. Why not? Why not spend the 60? Because multiplayer games, the what we look at as worth in terms of multiplayer games isn't as much as what people may tell you or may think. Again, multiplayer games make a lot of money, microtransactions, blah, 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 whatever. But you can make a lot of microtransactions off of single player games as well. You know, putting that out there. Shadow of War is an example of that. But, you know, a lot of people say, well, multiplayer games make more money. Wrong. The microtransactions make more money. Not the game itself. It's the microtransactions. Because oftentimes people are waiting for a sale anyway. It's the microtransactions that's pulling in the bread. That's why you've got games like Sea of Thieves nickel and diming you to death with all this cosmetic shit. Because it's the microtransactions where it's going to get you the money. Because you're going to see that cool sword, you're going to see that cool coat, boat, whatever, and you're going to want to buy that. That's where the cheddar starts coming in. Let's go to Star Wars Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 is also still pretty fresh, maybe 6-7 months. Battlefront 2. Would you spend 60 on Battlefront 2? I wouldn't. I damn sure wouldn't. Not now. So my question to y'all is, what is multiplayer worth? What is multiplayer worth when compared to single player? What is it worth? A lot of people like to put worth and, like to call single player games one and done. Oh, single player games are one and done. Multiplayer games are much more important. Multiplayer games are have more replay value. Blah blah blah. How many people are playing Halo 5 right now? Let's look. Matter of fact, let's look and see how much Halo 5 is right now. Halo 5, $21. $21 for Halo 5. This is like the to a lot of people, this is considered the holy grail of multiplayer. Like the Halo series, not 5. 5, the multiplayer was shitty, but it's period. So where would you spend $60 for Halo 5 right now? No, I wouldn't. And I know plenty of people that's not spending 60 on Halo 5 right now, but you'll go out and spend 60 on God of War, a one and done title. You'll go out and spend 60 on Bloodborne, a one and done title. You'll go out and spend $60 on Detroit, a one and done title. You'll go out and spend $60 on Days Gone, a one and done title. You'll go out and spend $60 on Spider-Man, a one and done title. But you won't spend 60 on Halo 5, a multiplayer game. You won't spend 60 on COD, a multiplayer game. What is multiplayer worth? What is it worth? Let's look at Kirby. Kirby came out 3 months ago. Kirby Starred Allies. Great game, by the way. I love the game. $55. $55. It came out like 3 months ago. Normally games will have a sale within a 3-month period. To be cut by some, not like by a whole lot, but at least, $10 off or some shit. $55. You're gonna pay that. What's that? Mario. What is Odyssey? I beat that, by the way. $48. This game came out last year. This game is almost a year old. And there's more people that will spend $48 on this than $48 on this. It's not happening. It's not. Now I'll use my trial and Game Pass. It's not happening though. Yo, Barry, what's good, man? Appreciate you coming through. Yo, teammate, leave Xbox alone. Nah. This ain't just about Xbox. It's about multiplayer, period. I'm speaking in terms of all multiplayer. When in terms of multiplayer games, a lot of people like to put a lot of worth into multiplayer games, but aren't willing to spend the $60 on a multiplayer game. Not in this day and age. No. Nobody's gonna go out and spend $60 on Call of Duty World War II once Black Ops 4 comes out. It's not happening. Mind you, these multiplayer games have the replay value. More people will go out and buy Last of Us 2. No. Days Gone. Spider-Man. Let's use Spider-Man. More people will go out and buy Spider-Man for $60 than a one and done. That's a year old, but still has replay value. Konami, EA, and Konami are shit now. EA is definitely they got to step their game up, man. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what they're doing, man. I don't understand why they still defend Xbox so hard. I love 360, but when they stopped having games, it was easy for me to go to PS3. Exactly. And fast forward to PS4, Vanny Pan, and it's even more easy to switch to PlayStation. Look at what PlayStation's offering you. PlayStation is offering you what the competition isn't. Exclusive single player experiences. PlayStation is selling more because they are providing exclusive single player experiences only found on PlayStation. They leaving the multiplayer to the third party because third party multiplayer, like realistically right now, third party is killing it in the multiplayer department. Honestly, there is no competing with that. You can't compete with that. Third party developers are killing it in the multiplayer department. Why compete with that when you can have it work for you, which is what Sony is doing with all these marketing deals. Why compete against that when they could work for you? Every holiday, get that COD bundle, a $250. How many people going out and buying that? Tons. So, multiplayer is still king. I said multiplayer. Single player is still king in these streets. And I love my multiplayer, but when it comes to what's important, it goes single player, then multiplayer. But yo, man, this has definitely been a great episode, man. I really do appreciate all you guys that came through. Sony Smart, you can't beat third party in multiplayer. You can't. Yo, Vanny Pan, it would be suicide to try to go against third party developers in the multiplayer department. It would be suicide. That's why, and that's part of the reason why Xbox is in a predicament that it's in. Because Xbox isn't the holy grail of multiplayer anymore. They haven't been for years. They're not the holy grail of multiplayer. No, when you think of multiplayer, if this was 360, when you think of multiplayer, you would think Xbox. This gen, you think multiplayer, you think of third-party developers. You're thinking COD, you're thinking Fortnite, you're thinking PUBG, you're thinking the sports games, you're thinking all of that. It's not just Xbox anymore. You're not just thinking Halo, Gears, Forza, these multiplayer experiences, must-have experiences. Not this generation. And honestly, moving forward, I don't think it's not gonna be like that, man. They're gonna have to really make a change in their vision. They're really gonna have to make a change. It's important. It really is important for them to make a change. And I'm hoping, as a gamer, the gamer in me is hoping that they really do deliver this E3. The gamer in me is hoping. The fanboy in me is like, I want to see debates. I can't wait for the debates. If they do mess up, the fanboy in me can't wait for the debates, can't wait for the damage controls. Oh, it's gonna be great. Either way, it's gonna be great. If they do show games and things like that, it's gonna be great. If they mess up, it's also still gonna be good to see the debates and the damage control and things that people are gonna be doing in podcasts, Twitter, and all these different social media outlets. But yeah, man, guys, listen. I really, really, really do appreciate you guys for coming through to When Persona Speaks, episode 15. Man, this was definitely a really good episode, really good turnout. I got no hope left for Microsoft. I don't want to say I don't have hope, because I do want to see them. I do want to see them put out some games. I do. But do I think they will? Not in the degree, at the capacity that we hope they will. Right? I don't think it'll be in the capacity of how PlayStation is. Like, you see how PlayStation is releasing their games and how many they're releasing and shit like that. I don't think it'll be in that capacity. I honestly don't, because they don't have the studios to do that. They don't. So it's just not going to happen. Not in that degree. But I do hope that they do give their fan base what their fan base definitely needs, which is what, ladies and gentlemen? Games. Games. That's what they need. That's what they need. That's what the Xbox community needs. Games, exclusives. This is what people want, not features, exclusives. So you got to deliver. It's time. Either put up or shut up. There's no getting around it. Not at this point. There is no getting around it, because and I'm gonna do an E3 predictions and go like real in depth with all three consoles, but just to give you guys a little snippet. If Microsoft doesn't deliver at this year's E3, I think they will lose the trust, the little trust and the little faith that they still have left within their community. At least from the gamers, from the fans, not the fanboys, not the zealots, the fans, the people that want better for the company, the people that want games for the company, the people that want to have new experiences like PlayStation, have single player games, not just multiplayer games, things like that. If they don't deliver, it's that's it. Honestly, I really do feel, and I think Phil Spencer and the execs, I think they know that. I really do. Like, as much as people, especially when God of War was just coming out, or when they were doing like the whole the press release for God of War, and like talking about it all month long, or when they were doing the month-long talk about Spider-Man, there were a lot of people in Phil Spencer's DMs or in his mentions, a lot of people mentioning Mike Ybarra, Aaron Greenberg, Shannon Loftus, all these different execs. There were a lot of people, looking at them like, hey, look, when can we get something like Spider-Man? When can we get something like God of War? Even Ryan McCaffrey, saying what he said, that did definitely catch the attention of Phil Spencer and the execs. So I do believe that they know and understand that you that we have to provide quality next gen exclusives. Um, we have to provide quality next gen exclusives. Like at this point, you have to. There is no getting around it because it's just not it's not feasible anymore. You can't feature your way out of this. You can't game pass your way out of this. You can't. No, it's not going to work. You can't TV your way out of this. You can't. No, you can't console your way out of this. Because when what really it, like 2 years ago, a year ago, what really saved Xbox or what kept Xbox fans from really going into an uproar was the power. Because when you start talking about games to Xbox, they'll say, oh, well, we got the power of the X, we got the power of the Scorpio coming. So, when we got the power of the Scorpio, the best looking multipass, blah, 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 blah. They had that to kind of ride. They rode that wave for about a year and a half. They rode that wave pretty. That's really all they really did was talk about, the 4K Blu-ray player, the power of Scorpio, the power, blah, 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 4K. They used that. So it kind of was like a scapegoat in a way, at least personally, I feel they kind of use that as a scapegoat to kind of mitigate people looking at them like, well, where's the games? Because last year, their games last year were it was probably like the worst one, if not the worst year they had gaming wise. Outside of Cuphead, it was not a good year for Xbox in terms of exclusives. So fast forward to this year. Well, last year, a lot of people was like, oh, well, the power of the X, the Scorpio, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so fine. Fast forward to 2018, they don't have that anymore. You feel me? The console's out. You feel me? Now it's time for the games. Because now you have people that invested in the $500 console and they're looking at this like, okay, I spent $500 on this, right? Now what? You feel me? Now what am I going to do with this $500 box that's sitting in my house now? Okay, so now we're going to get games. Cool. So Sea of Thieves comes out. It's a dud. Oh yeah, the best water tech in gaming, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. It's got beautiful water. It's got beautiful sunsets, but the game's a dud. It is not a good, enjoyable game. Fine. State of Decay 2 comes out. Obviously, granted, it's not out yet, but from what we're reading, what we're seeing, with the multiplayer tethering and not being able to collect the same loot and just the whole system that it looks like they have with this, it's not looking good. It's looking like it's setting up for disappointment. I hope it doesn't disappoint. I will be playing it. I'm going to play it through Game Pass, but outside of that, we really don't know nothing else. There's nothing else to fall on. You feel me? So once State of Decay 2 comes out, we're really going to be the Xbox fan base and the community really is going to be in a position where they have to let us know what's coming next, because we literally don't know anything. We don't know anything. You can ask an Xbox fanboy what's coming out next for Xbox. He doesn't know. Nobody knows. That's a problem. Because when you want people to invest into your console, you have to have some type of outline as to why they should invest in your console. And using the tagline, the most powerful console in the world and the best looking multiplats isn't enough. It's not enough. Not when you have games like God of War that are releasing exclusively on PlayStation 4, looking more appealing than most third-party games, honestly. And then also when you have a lot of third-party games that look damn good on the Pro. So again, why am I going to spend the $500? It's not enough. Using those taglines is not enough to get a set Xbox One X to succeed. Us as consumers, us as gamers need to know what's coming next. You can ask me right now, hey Persona, what's coming out next for the PlayStation 4? I'm looking at Persona. I'm looking to buy a PS4 this year. What games coming out this year that I should pick up or look out for? Dragon Crown Pro. Pick up the new God of War that just came out 2 weeks ago. Detroit Become Human. Spider-Man coming out in September. Spyro. Dragon Quest 11. Let me tell you about next year. Death Stranding. Days Gone. Ghost of Tsushima. Last of Us 2. Damn, all those games coming out next year? Yes. Oh, and we got Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out this year. Oh yeah, supposedly, quote unquote. Damn, all those games? Yeah. Damn, man, I can't wait to get a PS4 Pro or a PS4. Damn, I can't wait. Let me go get one now. Now let me ask the Xbox. Oh, so Xbox guy. So why should I pick up the Xbox One X, man? Like, what do they have coming out? Oh, well, we got State of Decay 2. Okay. What else? Forza. Okay. What else? We don't know. That's a problem. That's a problem because as much as people don't want to believe it, word of mouth is a very strong thing. Word of mouth is powerful because there are plenty of people that have friends that aren't as into gaming or don't know as much about games where they'll ask somebody, hey, look, why should I seen this commercial for God of War, it looked pretty cool, what do you think about that? Oh yeah, you snatched up the PS4, man, it's got all these games. That word of mouth is powerful. It's very, very powerful. If you don't have anything to speak about with your console's not being spoken about. Part of PlayStation's success is that it's constantly being spoken about. All year, we got the press release expose for God of War. We got the release date. It was a month-long talk about PlayStation, about the power of the Pro, about how beautiful God of War is, the development cycle, the one-shot camera cycle, the new tech that they were putting in the game, the changes to Kratos, all these different things all month long. So PlayStation was the talk of the town all month long. Just last month with Spider-Man, all month long, what was being talked about? Spider-Man on the PS4. Why this is good for PS4. Why you should get a PS4. Why this is a good game to play on the PS4 Pro. What the changes to Spider-Man is. Why Spider-Man is making his home on PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4, PS4, PS4, PS4 is constantly being spoken about. Now this month, what do we have? Oh, well, we got Detroit Become Human coming out. So now we got the development about the process, talking about the development cycle, talking about all these different things. PlayStation is constantly being spoken about. PlayStation is constantly in the news. It's constantly in social media. It's constantly being spoken about. Constantly. Even 5 years later, it's still constantly being spoken about. It's the talk of the town. It's what people want. It's people are desiring this console. The console is doing so good right now that people are showing their true colors. You got IGN making fanboy posts. Like, if that doesn't tell you the power of the PlayStation 4, I don't know what to tell you. You've got reputable gaming companies doing fanboy posts. That's powerful. You feel me? Because the gaming media is supposed to be the ones that's above that. So, looking at E3, Microsoft has to bring it, because if they don't, they're going to get left in the dust. And if they do decide to come out with a 9th generation of consoles, I don't see it being a console that people will want to buy. Just looking at the track record of how they're delivering everything now. You feel me? But yeah, that's just a quick little synopsis and a little look into how my E3 predictions are gonna go. I'm probably gonna do E3 predictions in like another 2 weeks. I'm gonna give it, I want more leaks to come out, a little bit more stuff. Yo, Demi, what's good, man? I had a phone call. It's all good, bro. It's all good. But yeah, man, let me get up out of here, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys all for coming through to the podcast, man. When Persona Speaks, episode 15. Shout out to Demi. Shout out to Andre 6K. Shout out to Vanny Pan, Titanfall Prince, there's EJ, Garuda. Who else was there? T-Mang, Bari. Who else? And who else was here? Yeah, that's everybody in the chat. And shout out to everybody that was I noticed a lot of people that watch the podcast but don't really type in the chat. So shout out to you guys as well. I appreciate you guys too. And if you haven't already, man, subscribe to the channel, man. Tomorrow we're gonna do Mind of a Gamer with the Mog Boys. That's gonna happen. And then next week when Persona speaks. But yeah, man, I hope you guys. Oh yeah, make sure you guys check out the Jay Barry Show. Link is in the description. And check Plus One Block Podcast Tuesdays 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Link to that is in the description as well. Also, man, make sure you guys subscribe to Demigod Reviews. His channel is in the chat. Go to subscribe to him, and also subscribe to Mr. Official VG as well. And yeah, man, this has been When Persona Speaks, episode 15. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great evening and a very safe weekend. I'm out of here. Peace.